Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Gray's Mindset. The main focus of this podcast is to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and thus gain the ability to mold and reshape ourselves into whoever we want to be. I look forward to growing with you, and I really hope you enjoy the podcast. Today, I would like to explore a topic that I personally feel as if has a lot of confusion and split interpretations, and that is love. So let's talk. First, what is love anyway? And why are there so many answers to this one important question? Don't you think if we all understood love for what it is, we can at least be on the same page of what that actually means when someone says, "I love you"? For me, love is a vulnerable connection, forged over time, and a strong desire to nurture and protect, an intentional joining of the consciousness. And with that vulnerable connection, it will be possible to be on the same page as your loved ones. An effective team needs to move wisely, not necessarily the same, but intentionally purposed. It's fine to be you, to be different and unique. However, if you have the same guidelines of thinking, you can truly tap into your team's potential. Next, I'd like to talk about how we grow as one. Picture a triangle. You and your family start at the bottom, hurt, damaged, and imperfect. We need to accept ourselves for who we are at our current level and love ourselves for making it this far. Focus on the tip of the triangle and allow yourself to rise, becoming closer to one as we get closer to the tip through guided independent efforts. For many, God is at the tip of that triangle. Here is an example of spiritual growth using this concept. There is a popular saying, "The family that prays together stays together." This prayer I'm about to recite, I would consider as the equivalent of a spiritual push-up. And as a family, it enforces the necessary thinking to get you to the tip of the triangle. So let's take a look at the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, taking the world as it is and not as I would have it. This prayer has substantial value and enforces peace of mind, wisdom, courage, being in the moment, and acceptance. So if God was at the tip of your triangle, a prayer like this over time will only unify. The more the prayer takes root and grows into a tree of love. As we grow and encompass love into our thinking patterns, here are some strong statements that can help. We move as one. We grow as one. We establish structure. We hold ourselves accountable if we break that structure. This structure is our security and our peace. We have faith in the process and cannot be shaken or disturbed by others' opinions and the circumstances of life. So, question: how do we treat those we love, ourselves included? We need to define how we love ourselves and radiate that self-love outwards. Others will feel that love radiating from you and want to return it. We should be positive with ourselves and with those around us, never judging what we don't understand, but seeking to understand what we don't understand, and giving our loved ones the opportunity to mimic the mindset. It's better to model self-love rather than tell someone they need to love their self. In order to properly set an example, we need to show them the benefits and let them make a choice. Your loved ones will either mimic or reject your way of thinking. So make sure what they're seeing is genuine and be patient with them. Their inner voice will carry much more weight than yours, so focus on influence. In order to change and grow, we need to become aware of our self-talk, reject thoughts that don't work in our favor, and replace them with affirmations that do work in our favor, and pass down a genuine state of being. Some good questions on reflection are: is this how I want my child or loved one to love their self? Is this productive to me, or is it holding me back? What are all the voices in my head that are making me feel bad? Answer these questions for yourself and model the mindset that comes from the answer. Never mind a generational curse. How about we focus on a generational blessing? After we have become aware of our self-talk, we need to become aware of the habits attached to our emotional state of mind. When you are experiencing anger, happiness, sadness, understand the habits. Accept yourself as perfectly imperfect. And write down what you would like to change when you're not in that state of mind. Example: when I'm mad, I tend to have a short fuse and be very impatient. Okay, I think I learned this habit when I was very young, listening to my parents argue. That likely was the time the habit began to take root, and this isn't how I want to be as a person. The next time I'm mad, I will take deep breaths. I will be in the moment and focus on the solution. So the affirmations we practice based on self-talk are: I am patient and I am in the moment. And this affirmation process can be reinforced and strengthened, you got it, by the Serenity Prayer. Affirm it on a regular basis, and you will grow. Remind yourself as often as possible. A good question on reflection is: how did I receive love in my lifetime? And when you're attempting to understand others, try to understand how they received love, and a lot of their actions will make sense. We are the average of the top 5 people we spend time with, starting with our family dynamic. We need routine, joy, discipline, and a sense of peace. The parents set this mindset and structure and are responsible for inserting affirmations kids can lean on in life when making difficult situations. Example: setting structure. Inserted affirmations from parent. Parent routinely says, I am driven and I will not be distracted by those trying to hold me back. Parent explains to child proactively, starting with a question: do you want to be successful or do you want to be unsuccessful? Explaining that the meaning of success is gaining what you've worked for. Typically, a child will respond, I want to be successful. Now, at that point, you have just allowed him to insert a voice in his mind that will echo in his head for the rest of his life. All you need to do is repeat the question long enough to stick. Now let's layer the affirmation. Child, I understand you would like to be successful, and I need you to understand that, like anything else of great value, it will come at a great cost. And that cost is you may not fit in with the average person around you. You are being groomed to be one of the leaders, a great influencer, a queen or a king. Now, you don't have to say exactly what I said. The point is to define success and implant in their mind what is appropriate for an influence so they can better become that influence. To groom them to not be so easily swayed or detoured from their path, and to define over time and set the example of the type of person it is acceptable to fit in with by actually setting that example. My son friend approaches him and says, "Hey, let's skip school and chill." Voice in his head says, "I want to be successful, and that means I need to lead and not follow in this situation." Son says to friend, "I have goals that I'm working towards and I can't afford to get distracted. How about after school we hang?" And there you go. Now your son has just influenced another individual, or that person will disconnect and hang around people of a more similar mindset to himself. Supporting references. The Bible says, "Love one another the same way I loved you." The main point of this quote is to set a standard for a way to receive love through regular practice and affirmation or prayer. The idea is to set a standard for the way you both receive and externalize, creating a healthy cycle. Buddha says, "You yourself, as much as anyone in the entire universe, deserves your love and affection. True love is one of the strongest emotions we can feel, and we all deserve it. And you especially deserve to be loved by yourself, because you are the most important person in your life." We're coming to the end of the episode shortly, and I really appreciate you for hanging in here for this long. And before I go, I'll leave you with this. We all have experienced pain, some more than others. But are we going to let that pain hold us back, or are we going to allow it to push us forward? Most have heard the saying, "Everything happens for a reason." But what you don't hear is, you're the person that decides what that reason is, for better or for worse. So why not choose better? Why not rise with that pressure instead of letting it crush you? Happiness is a choice, or rather joy. And despite how hard life gets, we can still choose to be joyful. And doing so will actually make us more equipped to deal with the situations that are at hand, to overcome the circumstances in front of us. So if life is really that bad, really that overwhelming, then why not choose to be joyful? Why not choose to put your best foot forward and overcome these obstacles standing in your way? Decide for you. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do today to start walking in that direction? I have a song recommendation for you. The song is "Okay" by Zach B featuring Mob Psycho. Or actually, I think I got that backwards. One or the other. Mob Psycho features Zach B, or Zach B features Mob Psycho. Either way, they both on there. But the point is, creating a mindset takes a lot of energy, and the music we listen to plays a huge role in the voices we hear in our head. I'd recommend this song in particular because it is emotionally honest. You don't need this specific song, but I will go out there and try to find a song that is emotionally honest, that is leading to the mindset that you want, that you're trying to create, and not the person that you're trying to deprioritize. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I hope you all have a great day.